So I was just back from running, and I want to do a YouTube video about going from the UK to Greece on this beautiful sunny evening. Um, just do some talking about some of the good things about UK, some of the good things about Greece, pros and cons of each, just to get another video on my channel. I'm not sure when I'll start doing properly edited videos, if I ever do, but this is a good start, I suppose. So, I mean, the number one thing about Greece that I think is pretty obvious from this video is that the weather is so much better. You know, when I was living in the UK, I quickly became aware that, well, not, I mean, quickly became aware, you know, I'd lived there for like 22 years, so not that quickly, but, you know, in my 20s, you know, you start thinking about how, like, just how much the summers in the UK can suck, especially in the northwest of England. You know, you can go a whole summer and not feel like you've had like one proper sunny day, and I just find that really depressing, you know. And my brother once said to me, you know, like, life doesn't have to be like this. You don't have to live in such a cold, dark, wet place all the time. You know, and that put the seed in my head of going to Greece, to a warm country, you know, where you get sun on your skin. And, you know, I'm a big believer in vitamin D deficiencies. You know, I think a lot of people, especially in England, have vitamin D deficiency. And, you know, vitamin D, your body produces it. It's not like vitamin C where you get it from outside foods and drinks and stuff. Your body makes it, it uses the sunlight with the skin somehow and creates vitamin D. Now, you can take vitamin D tablets as supposed to replace that, but, you know, I've read they're not actually like as good as the real thing. So if you're going, you know, your day-to-day life constantly without enough vitamin D in your body, you know, you get a whole host of problems. So if you're in Greece or another hot country, you know, where like today, when you just go out for a walk in your shorts and t-shirt and get some sunshine on your skin, you know, it's a big difference, I think. It makes you happier, it makes you feel better, maybe it makes you healthier. I don't know, so that's my number one thing. The second thing, the real contrast between the UK and Greece to me, which you might find a little bit surprising, is England to me felt a lot like a Charles Dickens novel. You know, like maybe that's just living in Burnley, you know, like where all the buildings are still Victorian. But you know, like all the buildings are like still covered in the black smog from when there used to be mills. You know, people are living in very damp houses. There's a lot of negativity going around, you know. You know, people just, on the whole, you know, don't seem all that happy. These new alcohol-free Heinekens 0.0, they're so good when you finish the run. You know, I don't like drinking a proper beer after exercise because the alcohol dehydrates you. But these beers just taste great because they're alcohol-free. You know, they actually hydrate you as well. I don't know if they're good for you or bad for you, but I enjoy them. Anyway, so the UK, it's like a Charles Dickens novel. You know, everyone's like upset and doing boring jobs. You know, working in factories, or, you know, even if you're lucky enough to like have a cozy office job, it's still a bit like a factory. You know, they describe the work as shifts, and you've got to clock in at 9 and take your 15-minute break in some horrible lunchroom, and then back to work, and, you know, finish at 5, and you've got to finish after 5. You can't finish a minute before 5, and you can't be at your desk a minute after 9. That's a sin, you know. You got to be there at these specific times and work. And you know, the people who are most respected in the company are the people who, you know, put in those extra hours for free. And, you know, I really wanted to like progress in my career, so yeah, I used to do that. You know, sometimes you might even show up an hour before the office opens and stay like half an hour afterwards, you know, just to look like a serious person. And like, yeah, if you want to build your career and get ahead and maybe, you know, get a job that pays you an extra few £1,000s a year, that's a good way to do it. But I mean, you only live once, so why do you want to spend like extra free time in an office? You know, it's just not worth it. And, you know, like Greece is a poorer country. You know, people here are like living on the breadline, some of them. There is a country that should represent Charles Dickens between the UK and Greece, economically at least, it should be Greece. But it isn't. You know, Greece, even in poverty, people are generally happier. Apparently Greek people aren't as happy as they used to be. A lot of people who've been here a long time say Greeks are quite sad now, but I don't think so. You know, there's a lot of smiles. People are very traditional still. Holidays are celebrated well. I think obviously the weather and the sunshine, you know, families gather around meals in a way that people don't do so much in the UK anymore. Yeah, so Greece is just a happier place, you know. But if you only see Greece like on your holidays, and you go to the holiday island and everyone's smiling at you to get you in the restaurants, you know, they're not really being friendly, they just want your money. When you're in a town little town like I am, little Greek town, where nobody knows you and no one wants to know you, but people are still kind of friendly, you know, then you know it's a little bit more authentic, and you see people at the workplace with a smile on their face sometimes. Yeah, but I mean, you do get people working in like the Greek public sector where, you know, even though they work ridiculously short hours, you know, they still don't smile. You think they would be working like in a Charles Dickens novel. But anyway, thirdly, you know, like the food in Greece, like personally, I think Greece is the best ingredients, but the worst recipes. So I don't actually like Greek food. You know, it's kind of gross, but the ingredients are great. So like I love like going to the local vegetable market, getting these amazingly locally grown fruit and vegetable, taking them home, and then, you know, cooking a more English kind of dish with it. So like I'm a big fan of Greek salad, and then some kind of grilled meat, and then I have all these like spicy sauces because I love spicy stuff, and I put that on top. And you know, here in Greece, oil is a huge thing. Every meal is made out of this oil, very fresh oil, very healthy oil. Oftentimes comes unpackaged and unlabeled, just in this reused plastic bottle, and you cover your food in it, and it's so good. You know, they say it's got amazing health benefits. I don't know if it's true, but you know, I think some Greek islands, people live to like the 90s and 100s regularly. You know, like the healthiest people in the world. So I do think the oil is part of it. Whereas in England, you know, oil is like expensive, and you know, if you are to cook with it, use like a thimble, and like you would never just like nonchalantly just pour all this oil all over your food. You know, it's like 12 euros for like a litre or whatever. Yeah, so I do like the food here. If I do go to a restaurant these days, often I'll take a bottle of hot sauce that I buy on the internet. It just makes it so much more enjoyable for me, you know, to have it spicy. Obviously, I find I do a lot more walking and running. I'm just back from a run today in Greece, because when the sun's out, you know, and you live next to a beautiful beach, best feeling in the world to go, you know, running alongside of it with a podcast on or something. In the UK, I used to go for runs, but you know, often it was dark in the evenings after work. And although you still get those good endorphin feelings from the run, you know, when you're running around a dark mill town with nothing interesting to put your eyes on, it's kind of, you know, it's not that exciting. Whereas here, you know, I'm running along the beach of Marathon, so I can see nature and mountains and the sea and fisher boats in the distance, and hear birds over my head. It's pretty beautiful, you know, and it's so good for the soul to regularly get yourself in that environment. Although when I first came to Greece, I was living in Athens, which actually is a lot dirtier and grimier and dusty and smoky and polluted than I expected it to be. So it was only when I moved out of the big city into a little Greek village where I live that I really started to appreciate the nature and, you know, the fresh air. I don't know if I could ever live in a city like that again, you know, or even if I could even live far from the sea. Something so calming about, you know, having this fresh air surrounded by trees, being just a few minutes walk from the beach and being able to just sit at the water, you know. And yeah, you know, I don't have the bars, I don't have my friends, I don't have all the restaurants and all that you get in England. But you can, you know, you can't just take a book to the sea and just like chill and think. And you know, maybe that does get a bit lonely sometimes, but you know, I'm not sure I'd swap it. And it means when you do go back to England, you know, you appreciate the things a bit more, because you expose them so rarely. So yeah, I didn't really have a set plan of things to talk about today. I'm just trying to get in the habit of doing more videos and talking about different things, getting used to doing YouTube videos and seeing what works and what doesn't. So hopefully I'll do some more. I don't know if anyone actually watches these, but if you do and you have a subject request, please put it in the comments. Please like and subscribe so others can see it. I feel silly saying that. Yeah, so thank you for anyone who's watched this. I'm not sure many people did. And I'll try and do some more interesting topics. Maybe do some videos in some more interesting places than my balcony. Let me just show you my balcony view. I don't know if it works really well in the sunlight. But yeah, that's what I look out onto every day, which is pretty nice. Love the sunshine. I don't actually make as use as the balcony as I thought I would. The sun is so bright, you know, I think you see me squinting. When I first got a balcony, I thought I'd be on the balcony all the time, but you know, I don't. Maybe I'll get a tablet so I can maybe do some work outside, or a Kindle or something, I don't know. I tend to spend most of the time inside. But yeah, balconies are pretty nice. They're an extension of your house, I suppose, and you can get the fresh air coming off them. We're at the top, so there's no one above us, so we can just look out. No, it's pretty nice, it's not bad. Anyway, thank you so much for all watching. Cheers, bye.